Why is it that Doug Ford seems to dislike Ontarians? Me and William Wilson created a documentary about the fact that Doug Ford tried to destroy the bike lanes in Toronto. So we called him about 3 or 4 times and asked him, hey, can you have an interview with us? We were ignored and rejected. Something that makes me appreciate Doug Ford is that he's very afraid of journalists, and it cracks me up. I also got on the phone with Trevor Townsend, the leader of the anti-bike lane movement in Toronto, and he called me an elitist, and he told me I'm the reason Donald Trump got elected. Mind you, this guy's a finance bro who lives in Rosedale in Toronto, who manages a portfolio of billions of dollars for an investment firm. Anyways, we went to Toronto nonetheless, and we interviewed a bunch of people who were involved in the case of Doug Ford versus the Toronto bike lane. Came out with a 27-minute documentary on the subject. Enjoy. Here we are in the beautiful rural setting of Toronto, Canada.
The Premier hates bike lanes. There's no doubt about it. He viscerally hates them. He drives to work, or is driven to work every day and to and from work, and he's along Bloor and he's along University and he sees cyclists going by and it drives him nuts.
Behind me you can see the fact that there is a cop directing traffic, and that is because this is one of the worst places in North America for traffic. For some reason, we can talk about it lots more, bikes versus cars has become one of the new identity politic issues.
Housing, failing. Education, failing. Healthcare, failing abysmally. Instead of advancing policies and proposals and plans to deal with those things, he's distracting the people of Ontario. Look, I'm not doing the job you sent me here to do, but I'm going to do this thing that really gets you excited.
Over the past year, there has been a huge fight between the provincial government and the people of Toronto over the existence of bike lanes on Bloor, Yonge, and University.
This is a pretty cynical populist move on their part, but at the same time, I also think they are, 100% serious about this. The bike lane piece isn't a distraction. This is something this government is very serious and committed to wanting to remove.
The existence of these bike lanes has been a huge bone to pick of the Doug Ford government against the city of Toronto. Toronto started building these bike lanes because the city has an abnormally high cyclist death rate. What I mean by that is the people biking in Toronto are getting killed at an absurd rate.
And I think what it is an adolescent reaction to some of the big problems that we have. In other words, we have this problem of climate change, we have this problem of congestion. Well, let's double down on the things that don't work.